Hello everybody, Storm here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online. In the last episode, we met, fought, and defeated the Primal Ifrit, and we learned a bit more about the Primals and what they do to their followers, basically mind-controlling them. And then we met the representatives of the three grand companies of Eorzea, the Twin Adder, the Immortal Flames, and the Maelstrom. And now we are being invited to join one of them. And so we've been invited to go view some speeches by the different leaders of the grand companies and then make a decision as to which of those companies we want to join. So, we're going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to make a decision as to which one we want to join up with. So, since we're already in Ul'dah, we're going to go ahead and do the Ul'dah one first, which is up here in the Chamber of Rule. So let's go ahead and get right to it.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanamal herself!
And Roban as well!
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore! Hurrah! Roban! Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold. Where by the grace and glory of Nalthal have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Ul'dah!
There, at the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard. Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests. If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You who call this living, dishonor the name of the Immortal Flames. It is but a slow death. Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth. We stand on a precipice, yet we do not act. Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Ul'dah stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you! Line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Ul'dah, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Ul'dah. As Ul'dah prospers, so shall her people.
Ya for Ul'dah!
Together we are one.
Your Grace.
Raoban? People of Ul'dah, I, Nanamo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Ul'dah. Yet those who measure that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people. Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Ul'dah, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Long live Nanamo!
Glory to the Sultana!
For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the inferno, for we are, by fire, reborn! Forsooth?
The time is now!
I believe...
If you'll permit me, Alfie no. And my sister, Alize, at your service. I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler. You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
And now we lost the voice. Okay. The Old Dons have a long history of conflict with the Amalja, the beast tribe that worships the primal Ifrit. Judging by your look of distaste, I take it you have encountered them. Which we have. The Old Dons do not shy away from confrontation. If aught threatens their precious posterity, they will seek to crush it. So they have dealt with Ifrit thus far, smothering his flames each time he is stoked to life. Yet he is but one of several problems. Though they have been quiet these past 5 years, the Garleans have not gone away. Meanwhile, refugees continue to arrive in droves, and Ul'dah has no clear policy on how to deal with them. After all, not even the Sultanate's coffers are bottomless, and even assuming they had the coin, resources will ever be finite. Which brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. It has been observed that the Amalja are summoning him with ever-increasing frequency. Every time they do so, the Uldans send their forces to smite the Primal, and though they invariably succeed, each victory is bought with blood. It is a war of attrition which they cannot well sustain. Small wonder, then, that the Immortal Flames are eager to recruit more members. At such a desperate hour, an adventure of your experience would be a most welcome addition to their ranks. Alright, so that is Raoban, leader of the Immortal Flames speech, a rousing display. So, we need to head out to the other cities, we might as well head over to Gridania. Let's go ahead and teleport over there. 426 gil, we'll use a ticket for that. One thing I did forget to mention is that in between episodes I went ahead and converted a bunch of my gear to materia and sold it, so I made a bit of money. I think somewhere around like 6,000 gil, which is not bad. I don't know what that was. Alright, so we need to head to Old Gridania. So it should be over here. Oh yeah, this is all the decorations for the new seasonal event, which I'm not sure we're going to be doing all the seasonal events. If I have time or there's nothing else I really want to do, maybe we'll hop into that, but I'll have to see. Alright, let's go ahead and listen to the speech here.
I lost my son to the calamity.
The 3 Seed Seers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body. Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood. Fearful of the Green Wrath, they hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago. Working hand in hand, the Hyur and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seed Seer. The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hyur and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us. Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelveswood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat. "5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cartano. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice. Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity. The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed, each waking hour a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Ixal have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us.
Time was a man could walk the high roads without fear.
On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please,
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you, join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity. We must think of the children!
Woods will be done.
It's up to us to protect the
Follow
forest.
the elementals!
Fancy meeting you again.
Alright, yep, and that's where the voiced cutscene stops. And sorry about that little misclick in there, cut off one of the lines, but alright, we'll pick up here. The Gridanians are unfortunate enough to have to contend with two beast tribes. The Ixal are unquestionably the more troublesome, being of a naturally warlike disposition, and want to summon their bloodthirsty primal, Garuda. The Sylphs, by contrast, are peaceful in nature, being mischievous rather than malevolent, and have long been on friendly terms with the Gridanians, until recently at least. Alas, they have grown aloof, a change observed at roughly the time they summoned the primal Ramu? The Gridanians have no love for war, and they consider open conflict a last resort. Though they clash with the Ixal ever more regularly, you may be assured that they do so in self-defense. As for the Sylphs, they are as yet bound by a peace treaty, though one wonders how long it will be before it is broken. The Twelveswood was grievously wounded during the calamity, leaving Gridania vulnerable to attack. The people are hopeful that restoring the wood, and thereby the power of the elementals, will put an end to their woes. And how long will that take? Centuries, I'd wager. Meanwhile, the Ixal will continue their incursions, spurred on by Garuda and her insatiable appetite for destruction. Whether the Gridanians like it or not, sooner or later it will come to an all-out war, and when it does, the Order of the Twin Adder will need all the help it can muster. How valuable might the aid of a capable adventurer prove to them then? Alright, so that is the recruiting speech of the Twin Adder. And now we need to head on over to Limsa Lominsa to listen to Merlvib. We already know a little bit about. So let's just go ahead and teleport. Actually, we don't want to teleport, so I can just return for free. Alright, so... Hey, what's this? An ill-conceived venture. Zenthale. Send us up to the stateroom. Here to attend the remembrance service. Be quick, the Admiral is due to give her address at any moment. Yep, let's go.
The Garleans are another matter altogether.
So much for our alliance.
It's sunk beyond the seabed.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride. "700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond.
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say. The crimson field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the black longship represents a pirate vessel.
When the Garlean Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom standard, and our grand company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilthier's bloody executioners, and together we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Cartano. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Limsa Lominsa. I swear to you no army ever fought harder or with more courage, yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
Freedom. Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom. Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. Yet still the wounds of the calamity fester and weep. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadian all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again? Yet there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the restless Rotano. The Sahagin creep ashore seeking blood for their accursed god.
Those fishback
The Sahagin
bastards.
have risen?
While the mines of Ogomero spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go. These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now, the curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us. One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire both, and see this ship safe to port. We must mend the rift the Calamity has reopened twixt pirate and maelstrom, and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming tempest. Mark ye well, a crew without unity is no crew at all. 'Tis but a mass of drowned men. To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard, and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves, till sea swallows all!
Long live the Admiral!
Admiral Melvin!
Gather the lads!
Oh, where's me cutlass?
I'll follow ye to the seven hells, Admiral!
Fancy meeting you again.
Alright, back to reading. As the Admiral mentioned in her address, Limsa Lominsa is plagued by two beast tribes. The first are the fish-like Sahagin, worshippers of the primal Leviathan. The second are the kobolds, who dwell beneath the earth and take the primal Titan for their god. As if the beast tribe's presence weren't troublesome enough, the Garleans have also chosen to erect a fortress right in the Lominsans' backyard. And that is to say, not of internal strife. As a nation of pirates, there is no end to the blood feuds between the various factions. And while they fight amongst themselves, the Garleans whet their blades and watch. If the Lominsans are to have any hope of withstanding the Empire, they must first resolve their own affairs. Differences must be set aside, and the primal threat dealt with once and for all. To this end, I expect that they will soon take decisive action against the beast tribes. Mark my words, the Maelstrom Standard will be drenched a deeper shade of crimson ere long. That a cable adventurer like you would be a valuable addition to their crew is beyond question. But will you sail with the Admiral? This is Minfilia calling us. Ayame, this is Minfilia. You are well, I hope. I will be correct in thinking that the final remembrance service is now concluded. A moment ago, you say. What a coincidence. Jesting aside, I trust you remember our guests from the Grand Companies. Well, delighted though we are to have them here at the Waking Sands, it would not do to keep them in suspense any longer than necessary. In short, hurry back. Alright, so we need to hurry back to the Waking Sands and make a decision as to who we want to join. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and teleport us over there. I will probably pause the recording while I do that. And because we got a bit of a walk as usual. And then we will resume once I'm at the Waking Sands. Alright, back at the Waking Sands. So I was thinking about this, and I do like the Admiral, Merlevib. I have no real interest in the Twin Adders, so it's going to come down to either the Maelstrom or the Immortal Flames. Alright, let's talk to Minfilia. Welcome back, Ayame. Were the Grand Company leader's words as illuminating as you had hoped? Each nation is beset with problems. I trust you see now why your services are in such demand. Would that there were more of you, Ayame. But you must be tired from your journey. Why don't you rest a while and take a moment to reflect on your decision once your mind is made up? Pray give the Grand Company officers your answer. Alright.
The gods only know what grand company our adventurer friend will keep. The wheels of change are in motion regardless.
Brother, are you certain this course is best?
Whatever do you mean, dear sister?
The so-called remembrance ceremonies were little more than standard waving rallies. As though the Calamity and Seventh Umbral era warranted scarcely a mention.
Well, of course they were standard waving rallies. Since you are so observant, mayhap you noticed what mention was made of the Warriors of Light? None. I suppose they must have forgotten the heroes who spared Eorzea a fate worse than the Calamity? No, dear Alize, they haven't forgotten these details. They have elected to omit them. Deep are the wounds the Calamity inflicted upon Eorzea. So deep, in fact, that the realm still bleeds. Needless to say, the beast tribes and their primals do little to alleviate the pain. So, the task of salving Eorzea's wounds falls to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, with a little help from our friends, the Grand Companies. Remembrance will yield no remedy. If our world is to heal, we must put the horrors of the Calamity behind us.
Our grandfather would never entrust the fate of the realm to despots who rewrite history to their convenience. There must be another way to cure what ails this world, and I mean to find it.
You are most welcome to try. Our paths may differ, but our destination is the same. In time, I dare say we will see eye to eye.
I should hope so.
My lady!
We are to escort you!
Hope does not come into it. We share the burden of this fate, dear sister, and will prevail together or not at all. The salve will serve not only to close up our present wounds, but prevent old ones from opening anew.
Alright. They're having a bit of a difference of opinion. And we'll see more about them as we progress. Alright, we need to decide which of these we are going to go ahead and join. We've already ruled out the serpents. I'm not going to join them. I'll just have to decide which we're going to do here. So let me just take a moment while I think about it for a little bit more. Alright, so I've decided We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna join the Maelstrom. It comes down to the fact that I just don't like the Flames colors. That's as, I guess, legitimate reason as any. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and talk to the Storm Officer. How was the Admiral's speech? But you need not explain. That you stand before me is now... standing before me now is answer enough. You have resolved to join the Maelstrom, have you not? Yep. That's the spirit, lass. With allies like you, how much stronger is our crew? Let us brave the seas together, friend. Now the choice is made. It's time to add your name to our rolls. Make your way to Maelstrom Command back in Limsa. Alright, so we're gonna get some possible gear here. It is on the upper decks, in case you have forgotten. I'll send word to our personnel officer to expect you. The duties of a Maelstrom soldier can be both arduous and challenging, but I promise you, you will not regret this choice. May your passage be swift and your bearings true. Alright, so we need to head to Maelstrom Command in Limsa, which can I return? Yes. Also, we started in Limsa and we're a Marauder. Also give the Maelstrom and basing ourselves out of Limsa for the time being some additional benefits. Alright, so we are heading to the upper deck, which means the aft castle. Alright, where? There it is. Also, the fact that they are Storm personnel officers is better too. Alright, we'll talk to the personnel officer. Hail Adventure, what business have you at Maelstrom Command? Let's see. My name is Ayami Atsurugi. I believe you are expecting me. Ayami Atsurugi, I, our recruitment officer, sent word of your coming. It shall be my honor to induct you into the ranks of the Maelstrom. Now, before I can accept your oath, you must be made aware of several... Sir... What is it, Private? And this had better be important. Sir, we received a report from a lookout in Lower Lenosha, sir. Imperial forces have fired upon a Highwind Skyways airship. The vessel is in a bad way, sir, and appears to be banking for an emergency landing in Cedarwood. Cedarwood? Damn it, we have no troops available in that area. The bulk of our infantry is bogged down on the coast, skirmishing with the fishbacks. Yatsurugi, this is highly irregular, but I fear your first duty in service to the Maelstrom must needs be unofficial. If our man in Lower Lenosha is correct, the airship will come down in territory crawling with Imperial scouts. If there are any survivors, we must reach them before the Garleans do. Make haste to Cedarwood, locate the airship, and if any of its occupants are alive, make sure they come to no further harm. We'll see about swearing you in upon your return. Alright, head to Cedarwood and determine the fate of the airship and its crew. Which we have no Aetheryte in that, and well, we do have an Aetheryte, but it's like way down there. Probably the easiest way is to just go out the Zephyr Gate and walk from there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Zephyr Gate. Just looking at the time. I'm going to have to probably stop recording soon. Let me just pause it while I walk over there, and then we'll resume once I am near the airship. Alright, there is the downed airship. And here's an airship crewman. If your level is above 24, you'll be synced. Alright, so there's going to be an instance. An adventurer? What are you doing out here? No, wait, let's find some cover first. Maelstrom Command sent you? How do I know you're not an Imperial spy? You don't even have a uniform. It is, sir. We are of the Maelstrom. You're a Garland Ironworks engineer, yes? Whenever lookouts reported the attack on your craft, we're here to rescue you. You must be Yatsurugi. Good work on reaching our friend here before the Imperials. I've never seen a craft of this design. It must be Garland's work. There is no end. Oh, is there no end to the man's treachery? The secrets of Magitech belong in Imperial hands. They are not to be squandered on Eorzean savages. We are taking this craft back to the fortress. Dismantle it if you must. And bring the engineer. Someone must pay for Garland's crimes. Scouting party from Castrum Occidens, I'd say. Seems they want your ship, engineer. Wedge, you have to help him. That fool of a Lalafell was hiding inside the tiny Bronco. The tiny Bronco? Isn't that the new design people have been whispering about? It's the first airship we built since the Calamity. The first since Master Garland, well, since he went missing. After years of work, she was finally ready for her first test flight, and she was soaring. She really was, till these bastards blasted her out of the sky. Alright, pay attention. We're going to hit these Imperials hard and fast. They want a souvenir from Eorzea. They can have a knife in the gut. But they're not getting that ship. Oh, and don't forget to save the Lalafell. What say you, Yatsurugi? Ready to give those curs a hiding? Like a tidal wave, lads. Charge! An ambush! To arms! Alright, let's actually take out these archers. Alright, you're down. You are a mage, we'll take you out. We'll get you. You're down. Savages, you cannot stand against somebody of the Empire. Well, it looks like we are. gone on long enough. Huh? Oh, what is that? More archers. Oh, they have a Magitech armor. Get rid of these archers. Level 22 Magitech Vanguard. Take care of the Decurion. Then we'll deal with the Vanguard. Be in that. What's it doing? Oh, nope. Alright, it is down. Biggs. Wedge. You shouldn't have stayed with the ship. That was a close one. Too damn close. So how's she look anyway? The auxiliary propeller is a dead loss, but I think we can wring enough thrust from the main propeller to get us airborne. A few minor modifications and we should be able to fly the tiny Bronco home. We'll stand watch until the ship is ready to take off. The Imperials will come looking for their scouts eventually, but I doubt they'll get here for a good while yet. Yatsurugi, you're free to return to Maelstrom Command and complete your induction. Ordinarily, I'd ask you to stay, but I think we'd all feel better knowing an adventurer of your ability was safely sworn in and ready for the next mission. Rest assured, I'd inform command of the part you played today. I am... Just wanted to say sorry, you know, for calling you an Imperial spy and all that. Got that one wrong, didn't I? Seriously, though, if it hadn't been for you and the Maelstrom lads here, we'd be chained up in a dungeon by now. I'm in your debt, friend. We both are. Wedge. Thank you, we're very grateful. Alright, so, back to Limsa. Oh, 1 minute. Oh well, I guess I'll just walk for the time being. A fate? No, we're not gonna worry about the fate. Oh well. In less than 30 seconds. Well, we've already gotten back. Alright, so I need to get to a 8th, right? Half Castle. And we'll talk to the Storm Personnel Officer. Welcome back, Yatsurugi. I just heard the report. You needn't be concerned about the engineers. They completed their return trip without further Imperial interference. I must admit, I had my doubts at first, but it seems the stories about you are true. I look forward to seeing what else you're capable of after you're properly inducted into the Maelstrom, of course. Now, speaking of your induction, what do we want to go with? Iron plate belt. We already have all this, so I'm just going to take the bronze pieces. Alright. I think I am out of time, so I'm going to have to do our induction into the Maelstrom next episode. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.